5 Questions with LeRoy Butler is brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler, brought to you by
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. The reason why I'm looking up, because I pick the Packers every week.
Yeah.
3-0. And if I were a betting man, I go to Potawatomi, but I'm broke. I have no money. I know you guys, and I say you guys, I mean the media, which I'm only a part of it when I choose to be. This has to be shocking at this juncture of the season to be 3-0, which is fine. I mean, I don't think anybody should be embarrassed by it, but I think for the most part, some of the things that you've seen with this particular team is refreshing, maybe catch a lot of people by surprise.
Well, it's surprising that they're 3-0.
Yeah.
To me, that's totally surprising, and I think it's, a credit to LaFleur that he's won the games that are in front of him.
Yeah.
Big game in Chicago, he won that.
Yes.
Big game at home against Minnesota, won that.
Yeah.
And they held serve against Denver. And now they've got Philadelphia coming on Thursday. I mean, they could easily be 4-0. But you can't say that this is a juggernaut right now. This doesn't have the feel of, the 96 team where you came out and you thought, okay, this is a Super Bowl team right away, or even 2010 when they were playing really well. This is there's a lot of wait and see to this team.
And I
Don't you think?
I think that's fair, but I also think the reason why it's not like that is because of the offense. Because the defense has been doing its job. They're number one in takeaways. They're number one with the eye test. The eye test is what they talk about in the barbershop. That's what you see. Of course, you can see they give up maybe 300 yards in 2 games on the ground. But most people are going to say, listen, for me, I look at takeaways, not turnovers. Takeaways what Jair Alexander did or Noah Fant. You take the ball away. And I look at scoring defense. Yardage, sometimes the analytics part of it, you can look at that either way. But if you're holding people to 16 points, or you're getting 4 and 5 sacks a game, or your stars on your team are stepping up, it's hard to pass up and not say that you have a defense that can compete at this juncture with anybody in the league. You'll find that out when they play tougher quarterbacks now. I mean, you'll find that out.
I think the key to the 3 stats that I always look at, points.
Yes,
points allowed. They're number 2 in points allowed.
Points allowed is tough.
Opponent quarterback rating.
Okay.
They're number 2 in that, 68.1, and third downs.
Third downs, that's a good
one. I think they're top 10 or top 13, something like that, in third downs. So I don't see how you can argue with anything they've done. I'm a believer in their defense. They do. We talked about a little bit before this that when they face a team like Dallas that can run it,
and throw it,
they're going to have a little bit of a problem, and they're going to need to score points against an offense like that. So far, they haven't had to score points to win,
especially the second half.
Yes, and so that brings us again back to the offense, and we're just not seeing a lot of continuity. Once in a while, you see a good drive, move right down the field. Let's talk about Davante Adams.
Please.
This is the first time since 2015, the end of 2015 season, that he's gone 3 games without a touchdown. That's a long time.
And last year, he was number 1 in touchdowns. So you would have to say, I was pretty, let's
4 targets on Sunday.
Let's just say this. We're all, as Packer fans, happy that they're 3-0. But you can still break the game down. And what's, to me, that's bothersome, not so much agitated, but bothersome, he's the only number 1 platinum receiver that doesn't get the targets he's supposed to. And when you see the stat sheet, you see that MVS had 10 targets. You're thinking, and I don't want Davante Adams to do like most of the guy, kick over water jugs, scream at it, knocking down. No, don't do that. Let guys like me fight for you to say he needs more targets. The guy's generally always open. Now, that's up to the coach, the coordinator, and how their whole system. Moreover, I think they're missing Randall Cobb. They don't have anybody in the slot who can command enough attention that you can get the one-on-ones outside. MVS, to me, is a straight line guy. He can outrun anybody. Send him deep twice a quarter if you want and hit 2. That's 14 points. But take the top off the defense. Now, when you come back, the only guy that they had that could do that was Trevor Davis, and you traded him.
Yeah.
So now Shepard's up. He's your guy.
But he didn't play much.
But he didn't play. I mean, he got a fair caught one ball. They got to implement somebody in that slot to make a difference. Now you'll get the one-on-ones that you want. Cause obviously, you didn't target Jimmy Graham. And that's a little disturbing to me in a way. Because you would think you want to get the tight ends the ball. That's why you kept so many on the roster.
Well, we disagree about this, but I think your point is valid in that they're not getting anything out of the tight end position. You still think Jimmy Graham can give him something. I'm leery about whether he can. I feel like Jimmy Graham acknowledge what his limitations are and then game plan around that. Be honest. He can hit a lot of little hitches. He can push off linebackers and get you 6-8 yards, something like that. I tend to think they still think that he can stretch the field, take pressure off of Davante Adams, but I don't think that's the case anymore.
And see, and I don't know if you really need that in this offense. This offense should be circled around 17, 33, and anybody in the slot. Off of that, Aaron can put up the numbers that the other quarterbacks put up, and the 300s, the 3 touchdowns. But do you really want to be a Russell Wilson to put up 400 yards and you lose? Or you want to be like Patrick Mahomes that put up 350 every week and 3 or 4 touchdowns and they win, but they're just keeping a lot of pressure on defenses. It seems like this offense has to find a way that when you're up, keep pressure on the defense. Now that means that Aaron has to buy in at times to stuff he may not want to buy into. Keep the chains moving, and eventually you'll get your chance. Now I wasn't overly disturbed that both running backs split, because they have to play on Thursday against Philly.
Right.
So these guys are fresh.
Good point.
Aaron's fresh, didn't get sacked. I thought Billy Turner had a great block on Aaron Jones' touchdown up the middle. So the team is still hadn't even scratched the surface yet on offense. But until they get to that where they're moving and clicking like you were talking about, I think that has to come from the slot. Geronimo Ellison in the slot is not a slot guy.
No, I don't think so either.
He's an outside guy.
Yeah.
He can beat one-on-one outside. Now, they do have a few drops. I guess they can clean that kind of stuff up. But at the same time, the Randall Cobbs of the world was the outlet for every quarterback. Why do you think Julian Edelman is always around in the Super Bowls and gets so many targets?
I think for this offense, he would have been a good fit, Cobb. I mean, not at $10 million a year, and I understand why they moved on. I don't understand why they didn't look for receivers this offseason that better fit LaFleur's system. You look at the Rams, they have to me, it's a specific type of receiver, the Robert Woods type guys who can fly.
Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, yeah. They have these speed guys who, you hit them in rhythm and go. And Davante Adams is like that. You hit Davante Adams in rhythm, and he's gonna take the ball a long way. But we were looking at the tape, and there's a lot of plays where guys just aren't open.
And that's possible, and sometimes that happens. That's a pretty good defense, pretty good secondary. But again, Davante Adams should average 10 targets minimum a game. let people know that you have a receiver, and I'm getting the ball to him. I'm going to wait up and sit up at night designing ways to get 17 the ball, because it opens it up for everybody. Because now you see targets going to 17. Okay, MVS has a one-on-one, and he's breaking free, and I'm going to launch it.
Yeah.
Just to have that in the back of a defensive back's mind or defensive coordinator's mind opens it up for everybody. And I know what the Packers and fans are going to say. You guys have got all the answers. That's why we do it after the game. It's just that when you're 3-0 and see that you can get better, that's dangerous. That puts you on notice with all the great teams that are 3-0. Because some of them are flukes. But the Packers are not a fluke. People are just thinking that this is a chance for Aaron Rodgers to finally get a great defense. Now you got to get an offense that matches that. And now you got the juggernaut that you need. Maybe it's a little bit early to be wanting that, but why not?
Well, I look at this in two different ways, and I'm not sure which one I adhere to yet. I will adhere to one of these at some point, but on the one hand, you have a good defense, so don't turn the ball over.
Yes. That's
Score,
key.
keep,
That's
you know,
key.
if it just takes 21 points, 17 points, 24 points, fine, maybe you're going to win. On the other hand, there's this thought that, okay, you have a good defense, start taking some chances. Start throwing down the middle, you know, throw it into coverage and let Davante Adams go get it. Your defense will get you the ball back.
That's
so,
true.
which, you know, I haven't come to the thought of which is better. You know, you're kind of playing it safe on the one end, and then on the other, you're playing like, okay, we're a complete team. We're going to go for it, you know? And I'm starting to lean that way. Like, try to be a prolific offense, and if you throw some interceptions, so be it.
No, he ain't doing that.
No, well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to do that. But, you know, I don't know. I think eventually you're going to have to, because you're going to run into games where the defense can't stop somebody or is not holding them to 17 points.
Yeah,
They'll be lucky to hold Dallas to, 28 points.
Yes.
They're that good offensively. And that's going to happen. You're going to run into teams like that. So you better be ready to score.
Yeah. And I would agree with that. I also think that Aaron needs to give a little bit, and LaFleur needs to give a little bit up. Open it up a little bit more for Aaron, and Aaron has to open it up to be okay at times. Just keep the chains moving. Because the pass to Robert Tonyan, he was open, but he missed, maybe chemistry, he missed him. So it's plays that you normally would see be touchdowns, but they weren't. But you don't have to panic about it because your defense is so good.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just knew that Preston Smith was going to go out there and get a fumble. It was just amazing that if you know you're going to score, that they have a front four that can just literally go after the quarterback. And I think the first shootout was going to be Thursday because Doug Peterson wants to throw the football in Philadelphia. They just got beat by Detroit in a game they thought they probably took them lightly.
And this is a team, the Eagles, who many people thought was Super Bowl caliber.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
They have a really good front four when it's healthy. They got a
Fletcher
good
Cox
offensive
is
line.
amazing.
Yeah, Fletcher, Cox, Barnett, Brandon Graham. They traded Michael Bennett, but they have a pretty good pass rush. Corners are solid. Safeties are good. Wide receivers are really good, but they're really
banged up.
They may not. They probably won't have Deshaun Jackson. They may not have Alshon Jeffrey, which is huge. They need him back this week. Ronald Darby, their starting corner is hurt. Missing some guys who are also hurt. Jason Peters left the game, left tackle, and his backup Andre Dillard, the top pick. So I don't know which Philadelphia shows up in this game, do you think? Yeah,
that's the thing. They got running back by committee. They brought over Jordan Howard, who's in Chicago. They're familiar with him. Nelson Aguilar is a guy that I've always liked He had a bad drop in that game, but that guy is a really good player. He's a slot guy that really opens it up, especially when Deshaun Jackson is not there. But I'm going to have to go back to the guy that I know pretty good, and that's Doug Peterson. He has the swagger, and he'll take a chance. He'll go for 2. He don't care. He'll go for it on 4th down.
Trick plays.
He'll do trick plays. He'll do just about anything to get the upper hand, especially if they figure they got to come into a hostile environment like Lambeau Field on a short week. But to me, Tom, it goes back to what Carson Wentz can do. What kind of quarterback are you going to see? One that can run and throw the football, or at times can throw a bad interception to just stifle a drive. So Carson Wentz, to me, because now Nick Foles is gone. It's your show. If you can't carry this team and get them to where they're going to go, then again, the Packers are going to play a quarterback that is not real powerful like the ones they'll see in Dak Prescott and Mahomes.
Some would argue that Carson Wentz did everything he could in that Detroit game to win that game.
Yeah, that's true.
Kid Whiteside had a ball right in his hands. It should have been a touchdown. Aguilar dropped the ball. You know, I don't know that there's anything Wentz could have done much better. I think the Eagles are a team who are desperate, you know, starting 1-3, and then I think they've got Dallas I know they have Dallas coming up after that, or they have the Jets and then Dallas and someone else really good, Seattle. So
so this
is a key game for them. They need to win it.
But if you're the Packers and you can finish the first quarter of the season 4-0,
man,
you got like a 75% chance of making the playoffs. But not only that, you have won 3 NFC games. 2 in your division. That's very, very powerful.
That's
now,
huge.
The Bears did beat, Washington, but still, you've already beat the Bears. You already beat Minnesota. And now you beat a team that was a Super Bowl champion 2 years ago. This is very, very strong. And the offense isn't on all cylinders. You would say, man, wait till November. Boy, because you'll be on the road now. You'll be on the road.
A lot.
So, but that's okay if you got everybody fresh and you're starting to design these plays. And here's what I like about it for me, to wrap this up for me. I like LaFleur, some of the things that he does that we haven't seen in the past. The throw to the fullback, the way he comes in, fake like he's blocked. I can't say his last name.
Vitale.
Yeah, him too. And he sneaks out and he throws it to him, which I thought was a touchdown. Those are the kind of plays that we're missing. And you like that kind of stuff because a fullback is paramount. 2 people are paramount to your team, fullbacks and punters. If they're playing well, why are you looking like that?
You must lose your fantasy games a lot, though.
No, not at all. Actually, I'm
Fantasy
winning
team
all.
must stink.
No, that's football 101. The guys that you guys don't give the love to are vital on your team. And if your fullback is on the field, you can do play action. You can do plays like that. Thank you, Bill, for showing that. And it gives you an element of being tough. And I like that because you have to protect Aaron Rodgers for him to go to a secondary receiver. So with that being said.
What's your score?
My prediction, there's no surprise. I'm going to pick the Packers, but I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a shootout, 30-27. Aaron Rodgers goes over 300 yards for the first time this year. 3 touchdowns. Of course, no interceptions. And he runs for like 40 yards. This is going to be a big-time Aaron Rodgers game, so everybody can just go home and just say, that's the guy. And you'll see the offense kind of turn the corner. But again, they got to put somebody in that slot. Hopefully it's Shepard. Somebody small, somebody's quick that can take advantage of one-on-ones that may be a safety or a linebacker.
Okay, very good. We would like to thank our sponsor.
Yeah, Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. I really appreciate everything they've done this year so far. And again, stay tuned for X's and O's. I think this may be the best X's and O's because it's 2 plays people may not have thought we'd pick out of that particular game. So that's why it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned for that.
All right. See you next week.